County Workforce Board, located directly across the street. Thank you for joining us on 413 Day. Let's get a round of applause for 413 Day. And we're here specifically to highlight the importance of youth employment. So full room, obviously, in terms of the importance of youth employment. So thank you everyone for coming. We are honored to be joined by Lieutenant Governor Healey-Driscoll, Labor and Workforce Development Secretary Lauren Jones, Molly Jacobson from Commonwealth Corporation, and our legislative partners from across the region, Representative Gonzalez, Arriaga, Ash, Duffy, and Senator Gomez. Thank you all for coming.
And
William, sorry. And Farley. Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. I said Duffy. And I also want to thank everyone in this room for coming because it shows your commitment to youth employment. I want to extend my sincere appreciation to the Healey-Driscoll administration and our local delegation for your strong support and ongoing commitment to youth employment across the Commonwealth. It's greatly appreciated. Here in Hampden County, youth employment is more than just summer jobs, but a cornerstone of what we do as a workforce board. When we, as a community, invest in young people, we are investing in the future workforce, the future economy, and the future of Hampden County. Here in Hampden County, over the last 4 years, 3,400 youth have been placed in a work-based learning experience. And that's a huge number, but we're looking to grow it, and that's why we're all here in the room today. I want to give a plug on Wednesday at the Basketball Hall of Fame. We're going to have our Youth Employment Summit, which will have 40 different employers with a focus on hiring youth over the summer. It's open to all Hampden County youth from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Basketball Hall of Fame. I want to say a few words. I want to introduce Mayor Sarno. We're lucky to have him join us to say a few words and welcome us to the city of Springfield.
Let's give Peter a nice round of applause for Mass Hire what they do. And every time I hear that name Farkas, you think of Christmas Story.
Or Seinfeld.
Or Seinfeld. I don't even want. Are we too old for that now? Or? No? You got that? You got that? I want to thank Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, once the mayor, always the heart of a mayor, and she gets it. I know she's on her way. Madam Secretary Jones, very good to see you, Lauren. And to Chancellor Reyes, thank you very, very much for your continued belief and investment here at the Henry Thomas UMass Center. We appreciate that. To my colleagues in government, thank you very, very much. And Kathy Bunno, who's my CAFO, she sits on the Mass Hire Board. And I got to say hello to my dear, dear friend, my old classmate at Westfield State, Cleveland Burton, a.k.a. Samuel L. Jackson, right there. We took psychology classes together. Always been long-time friendship. Every holiday, he gives me a call. He's such a gentleman. He's always been a big proponent of youth development. Cleveland, a.k.a. Samuel, great to see you, my man. So, I want to, can you hear me? Is it on? I don't need this thing. I've always been a huge proponent of youth development, and especially jobs or internships. We all remember when we first got our summer jobs, and we were able to. This manufacturer's here too. Good to see you, Chris. We all got our first jobs, and besides putting a little money in your pocket, you were able to meet people. And if you do a good job, those people in turn remember you and say, "That kid, he or she did a good job when they work for us." Now an opportunity opens up, and you get hired. So it is really opening a door for them. And I tell all the young people too, you might not have that resume, but little things mean a lot. Show up on time. Matter of fact, be early. Dress properly. Say please and thank you. Be a team player. Go above and beyond. Because a good boss is going to recognize that. And I deeply appreciate the state support in these programs and being the old director of the old South End Community Center. You can't put a price tag on what each and every one of you do day in and day out. Because down the road, you're going to run, that young man or young woman's going to run into you and say, "Hey, you remember me? Because of your efforts, I'm doing pretty well." So thank you to each and every one of you. I know I stand in the way of mimosas being served now, so I'll turn it back to Peter Farkas. Thank you.
Next, I want to introduce Chancellor Reyes. As you can tell, we're at UMass Springfield's campus, and I want to have him say a few words to welcome us.
Very good. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the opportunity to host all of you on this important event for the 413. When you think about the commitment that this administration has shown to be here, be present in a community like ours, this is what I know they mean. Be here, be able to convene legislators, be able to convene community, be able to convene with corporations and organizations here, as well as higher ed and all educational institutions, so we can all work together for the common good, which is what UMass Amherst stands for. So it is truly a pleasure to have you here. Secretary, thank you for being here. Thank you for letting us host you in what we have made a place of connection with our community. The Henry Thomas Center here in Springfield for UMass Amherst is meant to be a place where we can sometimes be the, Lieutenant Governor, thank you. It's a place where we can be an advocate for our community. It's a place where we can have convenings for our community. It's a place where we can offer the support of our community. It's a place where you can connect with the university, where the university can engage with the community, and a place where today, especially what we're talking about, being able to contribute to the different levels of our workforce, to be able to engage in that development throughout the spectrum, whether it is from the youth all the way to the 50 or the 20, depending where you are, it's what matters for us to be able to have that effort together. We need to keep more talent in Western Mass. We need to keep more talent in Massachusetts. And what a better day to say than in the 413. Thank you for being here again. And it is a pleasure to now introduce Secretary Jones, who has been an advocate for this community. And we're going to thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Chancellor Reyes, and happy 413 Day. I will say I was with someone earlier, I won't say who they were, but they didn't realize that 413 actually meant April 13th. So this is also a PSA and an awareness so that anyone who's just getting the memo can lean in and celebrate the 413 today and every single day. We're so thrilled to be able to convene local elected officials. Thank you, Mayor Sarno, for hosting us here in Springfield, and certainly Chancellor Reyes here at UMass. But our local elected officials combined with our state legislators, I know they got a shout out before, but I'd be remiss if I didn't officially welcome you as well. Senator Gomez, Representative Arriaga, Representative Gonzalez, Representative Budd, Representative Duffy, Representative Patricia Farley-Boulier, coming all the way from the Berkshires, thank you, because it's part of the 413. I think also Representative Ash was hoping to be here as well. We appreciate this full support, and we know that all of our partners in the state legislature are leaning in to support youth employment for those that are not here today. I also know Mayor Garcia may not be here, but certainly as part of an ongoing effort in this region has been a great partner working with Pete and our Mass Hire partners, so great to be here. We're also so thrilled to have strong representation across our Mass Hire system, from our workforce board, our state workforce board, all coming together, recognizing the value of bringing together employers, training providers, youth themselves, and advocating and supporting greater opportunities for our young people. Your leadership is what makes today possible as well. And it's really about our why. Why are we convening? Why are we talking about youth employment? At the end of the day, for us to build a strong workforce, we have to make sure that we are thinking about every single part of our workforce, and that includes creating more opportunities as soon as possible in someone's early experience, and that includes youth employment, youth jobs, and so we appreciate any employer that is leaning in to say yes to youth employment because it helps to embark and open so many opportunities for the people. And that's really why we're here today. I know that Lieutenant Governor Driscoll will really shine a light on a major investment that we're celebrating today, but I just want to look back on what we've been able to do as a workforce ecosystem here. Mass hire boards have really led the effort during our tenure in this administration in supporting our Youth Works program, reaching every single one of our 16 mass hire regions, opening up opportunities through Youth Works, providing 19,000 youth and young adults with opportunities since 2023. That's their first job, their second job, from a camp counselor to communications to exposure across the board. And we know that provides vital soft skills, or sometimes even called essential skills, that helps provide the foundation for their future success. I also want to recognize that we know that Youth Works is one of many things that helps to support youth employment, and that's why we've launched the Youth Employment and Skills Initiative today, so that we are saying yes to summer jobs, yes to youth employment, and yes to year-round opportunities for our young people. And just similar to, thank you. Similar to 413 Day, I'll spell it out. Yes, youth, employment, and skills. Yes. To youth jobs. So we're all in, we're saying yes to youth employment, and it's all about designing ways to better connect employers to young people and young people to these opportunities. So we're saying yes to youth employment, yes to helping young people gain these skills, and yes to leaning in and doing more that we can together in this collaborative effort. This was kind of inspired by a successful pilot that we've been launching since the summer, working with Mayor Sarno, working with Mayor Garcia in this region, as well as in Pittsfield in the Berkshires, as well as in the North Shore, including Salem and Lynn, and then also in the southeastern part of the state, Taunton and Fall River, purposely engaging local elected officials, anchor employers in each of those regions, and trying to identify best practices so more employers can sponsor opportunities for young people. We know it's one slice in a big pie of opportunities, and that's why we're leaning in to say yes. We know there's also other opportunities. We were just talking with the Mass Life Science Center last week, and we know our partners from the Executive Office of Economic Development and Education are also here, and they have an awesome high school program that connects young people in high school to the life sciences. So we have this great front door now for youth employment through the YES initiative, for Youth Works, for any internship or work-based learning opportunity that we can celebrate for young people. So we're so thrilled to be able to launch that today. You can continue to learn more by visiting mass.gov/yes. If you're an employer or know an employer who's curious, wants to learn more, wants to raise their hand and say, yes, I will hire, or yes, I'm already planning to hire this summer, we want to capture that information and celebrate you with us as we move into the summer. But we know there's also a big announcement today that we're celebrating as we get ready for this new summer season ahead. And we're so thrilled to be able to have Lieutenant Governor Driscoll here to make that announcement. She's been zigzagging and reaching every single one of the counties of the 413 today. And we're so thrilled that she's able to come by so we can celebrate youth employment, say yes to youth employment with the Lieutenant Governor. Thank you.
It's been quite a day this morning. I started in Gill announcing some new housing opportunities, particularly for small and rural communities. And I was fly fishing in Florida, Mass, just not Florida, the other Florida. And we caught a fish almost this big. We almost caught a fish this big. But it's been terrific to also talk about our pilot payments. So many of the state-owned land parcels that exist in Massachusetts or in Western Mass, we're trying to bring some equity to that work as well. So we've been crisscrossing all 4 counties, and I love 413 Day. I mean, I think for many of us, every day is 413 Day, but particularly for those of us who may sleep someplace else, being able to come out and experience all that you have to offer here is really great. I can't say enough about the delegation that you have. We work so closely with the delegation, and not just in Springfield, but outside. Again, folks who I think every single day really think deeply about how can we be benefiting the places where we live, bring more equity to this work, and ensure that we're uplifting and empowering what's happening locally. It's always great to see you, Mayor. Once a mayor, always a mayor, as you know. And we understand the importance particularly of employment and employment opportunities for youth and young adults particularly, knowing that this is a generation that will be in our seats before too long, and how can we make sure we're giving them the best chance and best head start at a career-connected experience. And we're thinking about that not just when it comes to summer youth and employment, but also as we think about high school and what a high school redesign looks like. We're in the midst right now of a major effort tied to high school graduation. As you know, we no longer have MCAS as a requirement for graduation. And what comes next? And our young adults are telling us, like, high school should not feel like a chore, it should feel like an opportunity. And what that means is having experiences during the day when you're in high school and have some connection to what you might want to do as a career, opening up eyes, opening up doors, more vocational and career opportunities during the day, thinking about how you get credit. If you are working and you're in high school, I guarantee you were learning something at that job that has some benefit to what you might do later in life. You might learn that you don't want to do that job later in life, as many of us had. I don't know, what was your first job, Mayor? Your first job as a young adult?
Paper boy, then rec leader.
See? Look at that.
Tax-free money as a paper boy.
That's great. My first job was in a bakery, and I learned a lot about customer service, about keeping busy. Like, I remember our bosses, like, you know, there's always something to do, like find time to do it. And I definitely learned that I did not want to be a baker. That was early morning and lots of hard work. But today we're really excited to talk about YouthWorks and ways that we can connect in communities with young adults who are looking for work. And I'm really grateful that we're announcing $14.4 million in grants to hire almost 3,800 That is both for summer work and for year-round jobs, and that's going to happen through the state's YouthWorks program. And Springfield and Holyoke have been real leaders in this, helping us pioneer how do we think about making sure young adults who want to work have an opportunity to do that. The program is, as I said, a game changer for young adults who might need to work, might need to contribute something to their household. It creates an opportunity for us to unpack that a little bit and hopefully put them in a position that also enables them to think about what they want to do next and unlock their full potential. There's lots of times eyes open when you're in your first job about something you may want to do as a career, and we hope that possibility exists as well. And we know these first jobs experience can also build confidence, particularly now. We've got these cell phones that love them or hate them, and mostly for young adults, I think I hate them, because it doesn't allow for that interpersonal connection, the looking in the eyes, the skill sets that more or less happened naturally before we had the incredible power that that phone offers as well to learn and get information. It can be a limiter when it comes to some of the skill sets you need to have in an environment, working as a team, in a job. It can also help them discover what they're capable of. You know, the first time you're uncomfortable in that work experience, somebody asks you to do something, you're not necessarily sure how to do it or how to handle, how do you connect with other adults. I'm going to be late for work, like some of the skills. Hopefully you're not saying that. But the ability to communicate and what it means to be an employee in a setting that has some requirements and responsibilities. All key skills that folks need. This program is going to be funded by the Commonwealth Corporation. Thank you very much. Yep. Don't give her too much of a round of applause. It's not all of it. The mass hire boards are also contributing, along with community organizations. Yeah. And plenty of local employers who are stepping up and recognizing that this is the beginning of what will be the next workforce. So as you think about any opportunities for those of you who are private employers here to help build those skills and experiences, it's not babysitting. It really isn't. It is an opportunity to uplift a member of your community and open eyes and open doors for them moving forward. I know in our Summer Youth Works program in Salem, when I was mayor, I had many people tell me it was great. I learned about social media. I figured out how to text. They got free tech because they had a young adult working in the law office, or helping them understand and bridging, divides between old and young and new ways of doing business. So I think it's a win-win, and it certainly can be if you think of it that way. And these, as we know, these grants aren't just investments in that next generation. It's also helping the economy, because there is plenty of work that needs to get done this summer, and there's plenty of hands to help. So we're really counting on all of you to work with us as part of regional efforts. to make sure that the youth works of today can really benefit the leaders of tomorrow, and help ensure the industries that we need to strengthen in our communities, the connections you'll make. It will be more than just about a summer job. And as the Secretary Jones said, we want you to say yes to youth jobs, yes to opportunity, yes to building skills, and yes to investing in the future of the Commonwealth. And that's really what today is all about. So not only I want to thank you for being here, I want your pledge to work with us as we figure out how to ensure we're hiring as many young adults as we can, and doing so in a way that's going to leave them better than they were before they started, with an enriching experience, learning something about themselves, about what they might want to do, or what, I'm not a baker for a reason, right? What they might not want to do, and most assuredly, helping facilitate that connection that we all crave, especially as somebody young now with phones and technology, showing up at a job, developing those responsibilities, and putting us in a position to continue to be the best state to live in, to work in. When you are in a state that is #1 for schools and education, #1 for healthcare, #1 in an innovation economy, we know we need those young adults and youth workers in the field, helping us get better every single day. You're going to be the first step in helping us do that. So thank you so much. And it's now my honor to introduce the CEO of Commonwealth Corp, Molly Jacobson, who's going to share a little bit more about the program. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you so much, LG, and thank you to all of our partners here, to Secretary Jones, my fearless boss, for your continued leadership and commitment to investing in young people and strengthening our workforce across the Commonwealth. So ComCore is the workforce development agency that proudly administers YouthWorks, as the LG said. And that means spring is our favorite season, and not just because Springfield's world's largest pancake breakfast, I think, happens in May, but also because that's when really YouthWorks starts its busy season of providing Massachusetts youth, and the Secretary says it, 19,000 youth since the start of the Healey-Driscoll administration with real life job experience, soft skills for the workplace, and career exposure. And last week, I got to visit a YouthWorks program, and I still have this image in my mind. We were in a classroom. One of the walls was absolutely plastered with those big flip chart papers, and it had pictures of the participants at the local hospital, at the municipal airport, at the senior center, at a media lab. And I saw photos of participants bussing tables at a local homeless shelter, and somebody wanted to tell me how excited they were to work the registration table at the flu clinic, which is as excited as I've ever heard somebody talk about a flu clinic before. But I think it is so easy, once you get to be an adult and you have a job, I think it is so easy to forget. You can't imagine a workplace if you've never seen it. So the opportunity, as Mayor Sarno said, joining that morning huddle, getting direction from your boss and realizing you're not really sure what she said, and you need to clarify that. These experiences connect young people to their first steps in the workplace, and they build muscle memory. So here in the 413, that impact is tangible. Really, ComCore is so grateful to our partners for stepping up to train and mentor, and also just to execute the program. So I see Kevin and Peter was here, Deb, the whole Mass Hire Workforce Board team for their great work happening in Springfield and in surrounding areas, Heather, Kelly, their team, the Berkshires, Sarah Moore and Zach in Franklin, Hampshire County. So thank you so much for your leadership. We really could not do that without you. And when ComCore looks at the data in Western Massachusetts, the impact of YouthWorks is clear. Since 2024, more than $12 million has been invested through YouthWorks in the western part of the state, serving over 2,000 young people in the region, and we are really proud of that. So we're going to get into the roundtable portion now. I'm really happy to kick that off, and just to say, I think we're going to pass the mic a little bit, but I get to ask the